How's it going, everyone? Matt Lafleur just had his end of the season press conference and pretty much wanted to talk about a couple of tidbits that he had throughout his 25 minute press conference. So, starting off first, he's very proud of the team. We all should be very proud of this team, especially how it started, like going 3-7 or 2-7. I forget the exact record. And then going to the playoffs. Definitely a roller coaster season, but definitely saw a lot of improvement from the team, and he was disappointed in the 49ers game, but is fired up for the future. He was disappointed in the fact that Jordan Love reverted to his do or die mentality in that last drive and where he threw the pick against the 49ers, but hopes it's a lesson and he'll be better for it come in the future, especially with how this season was. He kept learning from all the lessons and all the pretty much the down part of the season where he looked bad, learned from it, and got better. So he'll take this as another learning moment for Jordan Love. And pretty much had nothing but high praise for the man and the player that Jordan Love was and how he just continued to grind and get better week after week. So obviously Jordan Love is our quarterback for the future, and he had nothing but praise for Jordan Love and this team. He also talked about David Bakhtiari. There's been a lot of pretty much theories that David Bakhtiari is not going to be a Packer after this year because, well, his cap hits way too much and he's barely on the field. I think he was on the field for like 3 games this season. So when asked about Bakhtiari, he pretty much said everything's on the table, which could be a restructure or if he gets traded. He had a lot of good conversations with David Bakhtiari during his IR season this year, pretty much. On Twitter, it looked like, or I guess I should call it X, he pretty much sounded like he was still for the Packers and loved being a Packer. And there doesn't seem to be any animosity. He was even there with the Packers during the Cowboys playoff game. So seems like him and Lafleur and the front office are on good terms and pretty much praised a lot of David Bakhtiari and hopes he comes back. But we'll see. He said everything's on the table and there's been no conclusion to that. So we'll see if he actually is a Green Bay Packer going forward. Moving along to the wide receivers, he mainly talked about Christian Watson and the amount of hamstring injuries he had because, well, he's been out for a lot of season, and that they're going to continue testing, trying to figure out why he's pulling his hamstring so much. And Christian Watson's also doing his due diligence and trying to figure it out. He said he's not entirely blaming Christian Watson, but he's taking accountability. The fact it is his body and he needs to figure it out because it has been a detriment. But he will continue to be working with the medical staff of the Packers and even outside counseling to figure out what is causing these hamstring injuries and hopefully figure it out so it doesn't happen next season. Now, talking about next season, he did tell all the players because he did actually talk to all the players as a group, not one-on-one. They're actually currently still going through that process. The assistant coaches and all the coordinators are talking one-on-one with each individual player currently today. So overall, Matt Lafleur said to the team, heck of a job this season. Next year, the expectation, being the young team, that excuse is out the window. The expectation is pretty much Super Bowl. Like, the expectations are going to be a lot higher. But if you want to get there, you have to put in the work. Like, it's not just going to be given to you. And come back April, so this April, come back in April, better than you are today. So it's a great message with how Lafleur was saying it. Hopefully that chip on the shoulder, especially that heartbreak that we all experienced against the 49ers is there and just pushes them, and we'll see what comes out of it. But pretty much great season, but now the pressure's on. Expectations are higher, and we need you to deliver. So that was pretty much the message. And then lastly, the big one, Joe Barry. Joe Barry. Gosh. No news. But the way he talked was a little interesting. So he dodged all questions about Joe Barry and his future. He didn't go one way or another. Say, yes, he's coming back. No, he's not coming back. He did say that he has not talked to all the individual coordinators and coaches on his staff as of right now and plans to do that on his time going forward. So based off that, I can see why he's not going to tell us anything like, oh, Joe Barry's done or staying, because he hasn't talked to Joe Barry personally. But when talked about Tom Clemens, the quarterback guru of the Packers, off the rip, yes, we want him back. I hope he comes back. He's earned the right to make the best decision for himself and his family. And also said, hey, Tom Clemens made a big sacrifice in, unretiring over in his house in California and coming to coach over for the Green Bay Packers. And pretty much just straight, we want him back. No hesitation. So that was a little interesting. So it doesn't seem like Joe Barry's job is 100% safe. I think he already has his decision. He has to talk to his coordinators. Just kind of off how he talked and how the press conference was going. He dodged a lot of questions about Joe Barry. Lots of them. So hopefully this might spell the end of Joe Barry's tenure with the Green Bay Packers. There have been a lot of reports that he was in the final year of his contract. There is actually no official report of what his contract actually is. We don't entirely know if this was his last year of the contract. If it is, it could be easier on Matt Lafleur. But like, hey, we want to go in a different direction, or it's not. And well, that's where things get a little interesting. But we actually don't know what his actual contract is. But hopefully Matt Lafleur actually does have an answer on Joe Barry, because he said he's going to meet with them today and take his time to evaluate. I hope he doesn't take too long to evaluate. I hope, because the longer he takes, and especially if he does go in a different direction, well, let's do it now so we can have our choice in possible defensive coordinators before they're all gone. Let's not waste time on this. So he said he's meeting with them today. Hopefully there's a decision in the next couple of days, but that's just my hope. But that about wraps up the main points of Matt Lafleur's conference. Take what you want out of it. He didn't say much, and sometimes it felt like he said a lot that made this other thing where he didn't say a lot seem a little bit more. But we'll see. Matt Lafleur does typically play a lot of chess with his media coverage or conferences, so we'll see how that goes. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.